What's up, guys? All right, I'm going to do a crazy lesson here. This is for intermediate and advanced students. Just like we're doing before, we're just trying to get the guitar neck as a whole and not take it in these little sections and try to understand it like almost mathematically. I want to understand it a little bit more musically. So this is the way that I teach it. Now, if you start getting a little bit lost, pause it, go back. I'm going to try to explain this as detailed and as slowly as I possibly can to get you guys to understand what it is that I'm doing to kind of climb and pivot up the neck. So we're going to start with our G chord, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to find all of the G's all the way up the neck, just like we're doing, all right? And how we're going to find each one of those is using our G, like we're doing, using our D, using our C, and using our A positions, all right, our open chord forms. So we're going to find each one of those forms all around the neck to line up with a G major chord. We're just playing G major. So the first thing, nice and easy, open position, G major. Awesome. Now, as we're climbing up the neck, we can just do a nice G major bar chord. Great, we're getting a little bit higher, we're moving up a little bit further. Now this next one is where it's going to get really tricky. So this is where I want you guys to follow along, go nice and slowly. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to take our D chord form, all right? And what we're going to start to understand is we want to get all 6 strings in there. So if you can, play your D chord. We know that we can play our A open as part of a D, and then I'm going to put my thumb here and get that 2nd fret. We want to get all 6 strings in there, okay? How can you take this chord form and find a G using that form? So this is how we're going to do it. Our 3rd finger, that's our D, all right? That's our root note. So all we need to do is, on that string, with our 3rd finger, find a G note. If you're not that quick on it, you can use your ear, all right? The third fret in the bottom string is our G, so we're just going to jump up here, and it's going to be our 8th fret. So now, we're doing a D chord form with that on our G note, which is our 8th fret. But we want to build up into this part of the guitar. So how are we going to do that? We're going to mimic moving our nut up, if I can get it in here, our nut up, and almost using our 1st finger as kind of a capo to get these open strings, because the D and the A are open as they are down here. So to get this full form, we're going to move this. We're just going to kind of take this, forget about the 1st string for a second, all right? And now where my 1st finger is kind of moving the open strings up, all right? And then that was our root note before, so that moves up here, because if that's open, that's 2, just like moving this whole thing up here. We just need something to cover those 2. So this isn't necessarily, even though I do like this chord, it's not necessarily to play each one of these chords in substitution. It's just to kind of understand G major as a whole throughout the whole neck. So now we get this. This is our next form of G major. 7, 5, 5, 7, 8, and then we're just going to have to move this finger for 7. All right? That is the trickiest one. All right? Now, let's move this even further, get our next form of G major, and we're going to use our C form. So, just like before, take our C, this, and this are the C, our root note. So we need to line those 2 up with a G. Easy, we already did in our D form. So now you just take this and you kind of form a G right there. The only thing now that we have to do is take our nut up, like our capo, use our 1st finger as a capo. So you get this, and this is actually a pretty popular form. So this is forming our C, although obviously we're playing the G like we said, and that's kind of acting as our capo. All right, so that's our G form in a C, in our C fingering, our C position fingering. All right, now the last one that we're going to do is A. All right, we know that that's our root note right there. So we're just going to form an A an A formation of a bar chord, using that as our root note. And if you look, we now have those three are on the 12th fret. So that technically is kind of like our open, just like down here in our G. So we're just moving that up. So we got 10. Now if we want to add the 10 on top, we get 10, 10, 12, 12, 12, and then 10 on the bottom. That's our A formation G chord. All right. Now the very last one, we're going to take this and we're just going to move up and we're going to go back to our G major. We're just now 12 frets higher. And that's like super, super hard to get the whole thing in there. And that ends up being 15, 14, 12, 12, 12, 15. All right, which is just our G moved all the way up here. All right, you can kind of see if I do that, same as down here. I'm just 12 frets higher. All right, so as a quick recap, let me just go over each one of those forms for you guys if you need to, and go back, try to digest this, see if you can really make sense of it. All right, so we have our G bar chord. Now the next position, all right, G is going to be 7, 5, 5, 7, 8, 7, and that mimics our D chord, kind of brought down here. All right, that's just like this, moving that form up here, but then also taking those zeros up and making those fives. All right, now our C chord form. All right, if I kind of do a C, leave my first finger free and move that up to the same note, our 8th fret on the 2nd string, move that. So that ends up being 10, 10, 9, 7, 8, 7. Another G form. That's pretty popular though. That does get used a lot. All right, and then our last one, which is A, same root note. So now just like this, where our pinky is going to be our root note on G. We use that for our A form moved up to a G. So then you kind of get this. And that's how you start building your understanding of the guitar neck as a whole. It kind of climbs up in these two different directions. This is incredibly beneficial. I want to do the same thing. If you guys want to pause now and go through that, that's fine. I totally understand, depending on where you're. Some of you guys are probably blowing through this though. Like some of you guys might already have all this down. So the next set, let's take C. All right. So remember, we're going to be using G, C, D, and A. So let's take C. All right. Now the next one is a C bar chord, which kind of becomes our A form. It's just like an A down here. All right, if I kind of like mimic where that nut is, or using like a capo with my first finger, it's just a regular C bar chord. All right, and then I can add that top note in there if I want, so that becomes 3 3 5 5 5 3. Perfect. All right, now if I want to move that up, check this out. My C. We're going to use this as the back end, and we're going to kind of do a G form. And I'm one finger down, so it's just like a G chord, all right? Except I have to cover those three. So you have. So now if I'm doing a C again, C regular bar chord. Now to move this up to a G, those stay the same, and you just kind of make a G form right there. If you could see that, does that kind of make sense? So that becomes 8 7 5 5 5 8. All right, the next one's nice and easy. Regular C bar chord, 6th string on the bass. Nice and easy. Now we have to move into our weird D form, which now becomes this. If we find our third, so we're gonna go, all right, I need to find a D chord. That's my C. So where's my, you can even use your ear. That's my C. Form a D. Let's move it backwards like this. And And those two notes that you can see right there are perfectly situated right here. Alright, so we have this 12, 10, 10, 12, 13, 12. The same position that we used before, just up, that being our C right there. Alright? And then the last one, we move up again, and it's just our regular C, but we have to cover the 12th fret with our first finger because we do not have a capo. Alright, so now you get this. Alright, not always used for jamming and playing rhythm, but it's really just to understand the guitar neck as a whole. I want you guys to really try that. It's something that one of my teachers really drilled into me at one point. It's awesome for just building that kind of musicality. I mean, really what it comes down to is if you have a jam, if someone's just playing like a C to a G, you don't have to be locked into, you know, whatever scales you want to do. You can just jump in anywhere on the guitar neck and it's super comfortable. Try it. Let me know how it goes, guys.